Death is an inevitable part of life, but knowing this fact doesn't make it any easier when you lose someone close to you or when your partner loses someone close to you. So, in this video, we'll be giving you guys some tips on how to help your partner through grief when they've lost someone. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hey, what's up? I'm Fee.
And I'm G.
And welcome to FeGe, where it's all about lifestyle and relationships. So in 2020, or actually March of 2020, I lost someone really close to me. It was my cousin that I lost. And we were like sisters. We all grew up together. We were all grandma's babies. We literally all lived up the street from each other. So literally all of my cousins were like my siblings. We did everything together. And she got into a car accident and died really suddenly. And that was really hard for us as a family. It was hard for me individually. So that was in March of 2020. And just recently this year, we lost her sister as well. So that was a huge hit for my family. And still trying to kind of understand like why things happen or what's the point of certain things. You just really don't know how to take it, to be honest. You don't know how to face that type of loss back to back. It's really hard. Like, we were all so close in age. So to lose someone who's your sibling, but your peer as well, it's just, life is short. You don't know if tomorrow's promised to anyone. And just trying to work through that grief has been extremely challenging for me. And it's just hard because you're going through it, but you have your partner here who's trying to be a support system. Mm-hmm. And you just, honestly, I don't even know how to get through it. I mean,
we're still trying
to figure it out, because losing my first cousin, I mean, we're literally just trying to move into like the first step of healing, and then here we are, knocked back into it again. And it's tough.
So hopefully today, the goal of this video today is to try to help give you guys some tips of how, we were able, or I was able to help her through a hard time, and hopefully, ease some of that discomfort that grieving brings about. And one of the ways I was able to do that was through just being there. Don't ever underestimate what your presence can do for someone who's grieving. And what does that entail? Most people's like, how do I be there? It's just being present, being there mentally, emotionally, physically, being there. And, there is a wrong way to be there as well. Some people, because you don't know how to handle it, you want to, you try to recede into yourself,
avoid it.
Yeah. Or do what feels comfortable to you, like being on your phone, or, just not really being present. You need to be there wholeheartedly, presently for that person, so that you can help them in the best way that you know how.
And honestly, it means so much just to know you have somebody. Like, most of the time you don't want to talk about it. Like, you don't want to talk about how you feel. Clearly it's obvious how you feel. You just feel shitty and sad, and you can't really climb out of that. So you don't really want to talk about it. You just want somebody to be there. And like, if I want a hug,
like, I'm here physically, and I was there physically for her,
and still is.
Yeah, every step of the way.
So with us living in Texas and my family being in California, like, we obviously have to get back home.
Yeah. And so for me, you know, making sure I was taking care of those things that may seem small, like our itinerary, booking our flights, where we're going to stay, all of those things like that really took, you know, another level of thought or pressure off of Fiore. Like, she gets to really just sit in her feelings and focus on what she needs to focus on, or focus on what she's feeling, without worrying about, oh, what flight we're going to take, you know, where we're going to stay, this is that and another. So just taking care of those small details if you have to travel or whatever it is. I mean, even if your family's close to you, taking care of small things like food, whatever the case is, it really helps to just allow them to be
and process.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, you don't want to do anything, and you try to like pick yourself up, but honestly, it's just you don't.
Yeah. Because grief is one of those things, like, it has to run its course. It's gonna run its course. And I know,
and I don't even know about that though. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna run its course. Like, I literally.
Well, I'm not saying the course is ever going to really complete, but I'm just saying it's a process. It's a process.
It is a process, but and like she said, it does run its course, but like, you don't really know how. Like, literally just not even last night, this morning, I dreamt about my cousin. And like, I was having some, what do you call them? Like, we would get into these like petty fights, and I would go and delete all of our messages. Like, I ain't talking to this hoe. And I thought to myself this morning, I was like, it sucks that I don't have our messages anymore, just to look back on, you know, and I was super sad about it. And I ended up falling asleep. So when I fell asleep though, I was in this dream and I was randomly walking like down the road, and there she was walking with some friends of hers, and she just looked so happy. And I grab her hand, and she used to have these clammy ass hands, and I grabbed her hand and I was just like, oh my God. And she looked at me and we just hugged, and I didn't want to let her go. And like, that was the hardest part for me, was just trying to let her go. And she stopped, she like pulled away, and she just grabbed my face, and she's like, I'm always gonna be with you. And she just went on about her day, and she just was happy and left. And I just was sitting there, and I was so sad this morning. But, you know.
And I was able, in that specific instance, because for me, you know, she woke up and she was crying. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Because, you know, that was sudden for me. But I know my partner, and I know just physically comforting her, whatever that looks like, holding her hand or just holding her and just being with her physically helped her. It helped her, maybe not as much as I wanted to.
And it didn't help right away, because initially, like, I didn't want to be held. Like, I got out the bed and she was like, hey, are you okay? You know, she asked a question like, are you okay? What do you need from me? And I was just like, nothing. And then I just left the room. And then literally, like, I kind of just tried to work through it, and then I was sad, and then I was like, I came back and I said, hey babe, do you want to, you know, can you get up with me? And she was like, yeah, of course. And then I got back in bed with her, and then she just cuddled me, and I just, you know, it was better.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know this video would be so hard for her today. You okay? Sure. Right. And also, you don't want to avoid your partner because you don't know what to do. I get it. It's uncomfortable for you, but it's also super uncomfortable for them. Yeah. So you don't want to be avoiding them just because it's uncomfortable for you, because that's selfish, and they need you at that point in time. And so avoiding them only makes it worse.
It makes them feel, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It makes them feel lonelier too. It's almost like, it's because you just lost somebody, and like, although you're together, like, they haven't lost them in the way that you've lost them. So like, if your partner starts avoiding you, it's almost like you're losing them too, and it's like you're just by yourself.
Right.
So don't avoid them. Yeah. Face it with them, like, head on.
For sure. And
then I think is a big one too, like, seeing how, like, we are in Texas and my family's in California. Like, she has to be the one. She doesn't have to be the one, but she was the one who communicated a lot with my family, you know. So I don't need her getting into arguments with my family members about little stuff during the process of us like getting back home and stuff like that. Like,
because more often than you know, that does happen. Everybody's emotions are on high, and then you know, little things start to tick people off, and you know, don't fuel that fire. You know, everybody's emotional. You have to understand that people are going through something really difficult, so they probably aren't responding in the way they normally would.
Right.
So you being inappropriate and arguing with them doesn't help anything either.
And even arguing with your partner, like, because that can happen too. Like, your partner's lashing out in some way. I don't think I really lashed out at you.
No.
But I can see how that can be triggered, you know, how you can want to lash out, and steering clear of like picking fights and arguing with your partner during that time. I think that's important as well. So,
so our 5th tip is to not bombard your partner with questions. So this is a common thing, pretty common, like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And you know, sometimes that's overwhelming for them. Yeah. It's like, you know how they're doing, you know how they're feeling. So just,
it honestly makes you feel attacked. Like, and I don't know how, but it does. Like, when someone's like question after question after question, and you're literally like just trying to process everything, and you like, why are you asking me all these questions? Like, what do you need, right? Like, that's how you feel. Like, what do you want? What do you need from me right now? You know, the bombarding with questions. That's like, just please don't do it. Like, honestly, they'll either tell you what they need, or if you know your partner, you'll know what they're needing in that moment. Right. You won't have to question it or guess about it. You know,
right? And even if you don't know, don't ask a lot of questions. Yeah. That's not what anybody needs, honestly. So you guys, that's today's video.
Sorry that it was kind of like bah humbug.
It's not.
But I think it's a important conversation to have, because I feel like when you're dealing with loss and grief, you want your partner to be there. So I think it is a conversation that needed to be had. So sorry it wasn't our upbeat, funny video, but important nonetheless. So
for sure. And we hope that you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, just let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
Deuces.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. See you next time.